Hey, it's Mrs. Evans, and as promised, our second lesson this week is to look at the rubric for the modified DBQ. As you learned earlier this week, the new AP World exam has been changed a lot for this year, and so I wanted to actually show you the standard by which you'll be graded on, and then we will be doing a lot of skills practice for the remainder of our virtual learning time together. The governor announced early this week that we will not return to face-to-face instruction this school year. And I know this is really disappointing for all of you, especially for seniors. This is not how we wanted things to end for the class of 2020, the first class to do all 4 years at West. So this is really disappointing, but keep an eye on information coming out of our district. I know that they are looking for creative ways to celebrate our seniors and to wrap up the school year. In the meantime, we are going to press ahead getting ready for this AP exam. So you saw this slide last class period. Big picture changes. The only type of question you will be asked on this new modified AP exam is a modified DBQ. Stimulus-based multiple choice, SAQ, LAQ, those are all gone for this year. And you have 45 minutes to write a 5-document DBQ. This new rubric has 10 points, but no new skills. They're just trying to give you a point for partial completion of some of the skills that we've been practicing all year. So we're going to tweak how we write the DBQ just a little bit, but you don't have any new skills you've never heard of to learn. It is open note, the exam, but we want to be really careful because the College Board has made some pretty significant threats on how they'll handle people who they catch plagiarizing. After watching this video, make sure that you go back to Google Classroom and complete the assignment that I've posted. This is for your attendance for today, and I need to give you a grade and hack for the week as well. So make sure you take care of this for me. Linked here, I'll share the original slides with you too, not just this video. Linked here is the College Board website on exam security. I linked this in our presentation for last class period too, but I wanted to highlight some information from that webpage that was really, I don't know, like I just feel like the College Board is really trying to make students understand that they are taking exam security really seriously. First bullet point says that if your modified DBQ mirrors online content or looks like the work another student submitted, your scores will be canceled. Not like a 1, like it'll say like no score type of thing. Notice that you are not allowed to share or receive any type of assistance, whether that be from, hi Lydia, do you want to come say hi to the kids? Come here. Whether that be from each other or from someone else in your life who might know about history, you are not allowed to receive assistance from anybody else. So we should not be contacting each other during the exam. You cannot post about specifics of the exam on social media, none of that kind of stuff. They're saying that they're going to tell West if they catch you doing some sort of violation of exam security. They're also saying that they'll tell the colleges that you want to submit your scores to that you attempted to violate exam security on this exam. They're also talking about preventing you from taking future AP exams, the SAT subject test, etc. They're even using like informing law enforcement in the language of this announcement. So we've got to be really, really careful. Okay, to make sure that everything you write is in your own words so that you are not in any danger of having your score canceled or like even bigger consequences. All right, so let's go through the rubric points and see what adjustments we need to make. And really that's all I'm seeing here is we need to make some adjustments. We don't need to relearn anything. We're just adjusting how we're going to do things. Context is the first thing you write in your DBQ, and nothing about it has changed at all. Sorry, I had to kick my dogs out of here because they started making noise. This is still going to be the first paragraph you write in your DBQ essay. You're going to write a couple of sentences that provide this broader historical context that comes before or looks more broadly at the time period in which the prompt occurred. And then it's going to wrap up with a relevance sentence. You are responsible as the writer of your paper for establishing a brief connection between your context and the topic of the prompt. This serves as a really nice transition sentence to your thesis paragraph. but that sentence kind of just ties everything together. Here's the context, the big picture. Let me zoom in on the topic of my prompt. Now, the only thing that will change about context is how you're going to do it. No longer do you have to memorize the time period acronyms and say, all right, what came in the time period before that is relevant context, or what is happening at the time of the prompt, but is not the topic of the prompt that is relevant context. Instead, the expanded time period acronym charts that we made last class period, those will help you decide what to write about in this first paragraph. I always like to look to the previous time period first. And if I absolutely can't find anything in the time period before the dates given in the prompt, then I will look and see what else happened in that era, that time period, to see if something from there could be context. But I like to go the time period before, just because then I don't have to worry that I'm accidentally bringing in something that's going to be useful later in my argument. Okay. So context has not changed at all in terms of how it will be scored, but it should be easier for us to come up with stuff to write about because we can have those expanded time period acronyms out in front of us. Thesis has also not changed at all on the rubric. This is the second thing you'll write. I like it to be a separate paragraph from your context, just so that you're sure you're giving me the ingredients that you need to score both of these points. But some things to remember about what has stayed the same with thesis. Your claim needs to be historically defensible. It has to be something that is historically accurate and true. Your thesis needs to rely on the documents. Now, I'm not saying use the documents individually when writing your thesis. I'm saying you've read the collection of 5 documents, you have sorted them into argument categories, and the argument categories are based on how the documents answer the prompt, okay? They're forming your argument in response to the prompt. So your thesis should be based on the documents. You need to make a claim, take a stance, establish a line of reasoning. One of our lessons that I used in the online work from the College Board last week said, like, make your argument and then say, because of this in the thesis. That's something you could talk about, especially if you're getting a prompt that says evaluate the extent to which. Right, so my Euro kids will remember that that prompt, evaluate the extent to which the Glorious Revolution was part of the Enlightenment. So the Glorious Revolution was part of the Enlightenment because, right, that would work for establishing a line of reasoning. Now, here is the adjustment we're going to make to the thesis. With only 5 documents, you only need to make 2 arguments in your thesis. Let me say that one more time. Because we only have 5 documents, I want to encourage you to sort them into only 2 arguments. We do not need a third argument. So what this means is you'll have your context paragraph, then your thesis paragraph, which will be short, right? And then 2 body paragraphs, and that's it. Because you just don't have the material anymore to have a third argument, I don't think. So your thesis will only be 3 sentences long now. Your first sentence will restate the prompt. Your second sentence will be the first argument you have created that responds to the prompt and is based off a couple of the documents. Then your third sentence will be your second argument that responds to the prompt and is based off of the other documents, okay? So this paragraph gets 1 sentence shorter, but the skills you're doing here, they stay the same. Make an argument, state your claim. That's your thesis, okay? So 2 points that have not changed much at all. You have received a ton of feedback on context and thesis writing this year, so I'm really not worried about your ability to score these points. We'll keep practicing these skills, of course, because they're so foundational, especially the thesis to the whole essay, but I am really confident in your ability to be able to earn these points. You've gotten a lot of practice at it, and you're ready to do these skills. Like I mentioned before, you are only going to be writing 2 body paragraphs for me, and this is what they will look like, okay? Your first body paragraph will start with a topic sentence. This is the half of your thesis argument that you're going to prove in this paragraph. For each document that you have slated for this argument category that you've grouped here, you're going to do evidence 1, evidence 2, and then maybe happy. We actually only need to happy 2 documents now. And I'll talk more about that in just a little bit. And then you want to put outside evidence here as well. We actually have the ability to earn 2 outside evidence points. You're allowed to do it 2 different times. So I do suggest that you give it a try, outside evidence that is, in each of your body paragraphs, and just see if you can, grab some points from that. Then you do the exact same thing in your second body paragraph. Start at that topic sentence, whichever documents you're using here. Give us evidence 1, evidence 2. Happy 1 time in this paragraph, outside evidence 1 time in this paragraph. And then your essay is done. Now I know that it's done. We've got a lot of work to do to get to that it's done part. But now you see the idea here. Context, thesis, body paragraph, okay? 4-paragraph essay is what we're looking at here. So there are a couple of changes to earning points for evidence 1, okay? The skill has not changed. When we're doing evidence 1, we are describing the document in a way that is related to the prompt. What is the gist of the document? What is the main idea of the document? How can you summarize the document in your own words? To get this point, don't quote from the documents. If you quote, you will not get this point, and it is the easiest point to get on the rubric. You do need to set your documents to help the readers. Remember that every reader who goes to the reading this year will be reading from home. And every reader who is reading from home will be reading this modified DBQ. So they are going to spend, I don't know if I'm going yet. Readers are going to spend 8 days staring at computer screens, reading modified DBQs. So everything you can do to make life easier for your reader, you need to do. And the biggest thing that includes is citing your documents, parentheses, doc, and then the number, close the parentheses. And I like to see this citation at the end of the first sentence where you are dealing with a new document, okay? On the original normal DBQ rubric, we have to do evidence 1 for 3 documents to get this point. Now, it's only necessary for 2 documents to earn the point. However, chances are you guys are going to do this for every document you use, but as long as you've done it twice, you can count on having this point in your total. Evidence 2, okay, this one, there's a little more that's changed here. The skill has not changed. This is using the document in a way that supports your thesis or your argument. So I maintain, and like I've told you this all year, I really do believe you have to have a thesis to earn this point. At minimum, you have to have a topic sentence to start your body paragraph that makes an argument in response to the prompt if you're going to get this point, okay? So the skill hasn't changed. Supporting a thesis is what you have to do in evidence 2. But the scoring has changed dramatically, okay? If you do evidence 2, if you support a thesis or an argument with 2 documents, you have a point. If you do it with 2 more documents for a total of 4 documents that you have used in a way that supports your thesis, now you have earned a second point. So evidence 2 just became more valuable in the rubric. 2 of the 10 points can be earned from using the document in a way that supports your argument. So this is a skill we're going to spend some more time practicing. You guys have already gotten some practice at it, but we want to keep practicing this one because it is such a valuable point. Okay? I know you can't see all of the text. Ooh, let me stop so my video doesn't get too long.